the evolution of military practices in the British colonies of North America. Welcome to today's detailed exploration of the military and societal evolution in the British colonies of North America. Differing significantly from Europe, these colonies developed amidst vast forests and sparse populations. In this video, we delve into how democratic principles, unique military practices, and the colonial militia shaped the colonial experience, contributing to a distinctive historical trajectory. The North American landscape presented a stark contrast to the European environment, characterized by its expansive forests and scattered settlements. The colonists encountered the Native American tribes as their primary adversaries, engaging in what was perceived as primitive warfare. Unlike the rigid class systems of Europe, the colonies fostered more democratic and individualistic ideals. Unlike the Old World, there was an absence of a hereditary nobility, and social mobility was increased. This lack of entrenched aristocratic control facilitated a society where land acquisition was more accessible and class fluidity was more achievable. Each colony's governance was fashioned after English prototypes, but adapted to local conditions. Typically, governance consisted of a royal governor appointed by the crown, an advisory council, and a popular assembly elected by landowners. These assemblies, reminiscent of the British House of Commons, operated on a broader democratic scale due to widespread property ownership in the colonies, contrasted with Britain's more restricted electorates. This arrangement allowed colonial assemblies to assert substantial autonomy, claiming similar prerogatives to the British Parliament, including budgetary control and military regulation. Military conflicts with Native Americans led to significant adaptations in colonial tactics. Native warfare emphasized surprise attacks, strong use of the environment, and ambushes, which Europeans found alien yet effective. Colonists learned to value stealth and surprise, incorporating these methods into their strategy. They adapted by employing scouts, including friendly Native American allies, and adopting guerrilla warfare techniques. The experience nurtured a form of military individualism that valued personal initiative, starkly contrasting with the disciplined formations prevalent in Europe. Facing ongoing threats from native tribes, colonial governments could not rely on standing professional armies due to financial and logistical constraints. Instead, they revived the militia tradition rooted in British heritage. Apart from Pennsylvania's Quaker-influenced exception, colonies enacted laws for militias that embodied every able-bodied male from 16 to 60. These local forces were integral to frontier defense, emphasizing community-based service and responsiveness to immediate local needs over the protracted engagements typical of European conflicts. The militia's operation was fundamentally a local endeavor within each colony, serving not only as a means of defense, but as a socially integrated institution. General officers were often appointed by royal governors or assemblies, but local companies elected their officers, aligning military rank with social status. However, militia effectiveness varied greatly. In urgent situations, particularly on the frontier, militiamen responded robustly to threats. However, in regions without immediate danger, complacency often set in. Here, the militia might lapse into more a symbolic role than an efficient fighting force. Initially, militia training was rigorous, reflecting the complete dependence on these forces for security. Yet over time, particularly in coastal areas where the immediate native threat diminished, training days evolved into more social gatherings. Meanwhile, on the frontier, constant threats necessitated maintained vigilance and readiness. In some colonies, volunteer militia units formed, purchasing their equipment and uniforms, intending to stay prepared for any exigencies. These units foreshadowed the modern National Guard, embodying a persistent military tradition in American society. In summary, the interplay between the distinct environment of North America and European traditions forged a unique colonial military identity. The colonial militia served as a significant precursor to modern military systems in the United States, instilling values of individual initiative and democratic participation. These practices reflect the emergent American identity, blending European traditions with pragmatic adaptations to the New World's challenges. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of our colonial military heritage. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into history.